Donald Trump continues to poke around, threaten, and continues to get silenced, hopefully. We'll see, because in this latest case, a gag order has been put forward by Judge Arthur Engoron. He's overseeing the New York fraud trial with Donald Trump, and he issued this gag order on Trump after he posted a Truth Social post that the judge thought was a little bit out of line. In fact, it was very out of line. We'll see in a second, but first let's go to what is that happened and what is that this judge said. So this morning, one of the defendants posted on a social media account a disparaging, untrue, and personally identifying post about a member of my staff. Although I have since ordered the post deleted, and apparently it was also emailed out to millions of other recipients. Personal attacks of any member of my court staff are unacceptable, inappropriate, and I will not tolerate them. That's Judge Arthur Engoron. If you guys have been seeing, I think, some of the anger surrounding him, he's the judge who, when the cameras were in the courtroom, did you see this, Brett? When the cameras were in the courtroom, he didn't know what to do. I'm not sure who held that camera, if he was surprised by it, but it came to his face and he was like, oh, let me take my glasses off. So that was it was a bit of a problem. But still, now he's serious and he's very upset. More. Consider this statement an order forbidding all parties from posting, emailing, or speaking publicly about any members of my staff, is what he said. Failure to abide by this will result in serious sanctions. I'm not sure what sanctions he's looking to put forward on him. He's not going to put him in jail or anything, or whatever it is that they can do from this position, but he's hoping these threats will work. I think others have talked about this, and I'm not sure how much Trump has followed it. But here's that post that's got Engoron's dander up. First, it was put up forward by this group called Judicial Protest, and there's a picture of Chuck Schumer and this clerk. He said, why is Judge Engoron's principal law clerk palling around with Chuck Schumer? Which Donald Trump jumped right on, reposted and retruthed, and said, Schumer's girlfriend is running this case against me. How disgraceful. This case should be dismissed immediately. What does that mean? So you identify someone, say that they're his girlfriend falsely, and then say she's running this case against me. So is the point that no one should be running a case against you? Which, by the way, she's not, because he's lying, obviously. She's not running the case. Principal law clerks to judges are responsible for researching and analyzing uniquely intricate, complex, and sensitive legal issues and questions for individual judges. They also provide other personal and confidential assistance to an individual judge or judges. He since deleted that post because it's basically showing who she was so people can find out who she is, and if not just harass her online, potentially in person. So he did do that. But still, this is the process. This is the approach he's got when it comes to folks. And I did read something else, Brett, that this particular clerk, she apparently is good at intercepting and shutting down all of the delay and BS tactics that Donald Trump's attorneys are looking to push in this case. And she's really good at it. That's why she's running the case against me, because she's shutting him down at every turn. That's what's got him angry.
Well, yeah, clerks, it's an interesting relationship with clerks. If you clerk for a judge, you are in a great position to do other stuff in your career. There are, people on the Supreme Court who are only on the radar of the party because they clerked for previous and, now sitting members of the Supreme Court. So clerks do a lot. It's a very involved process. You're writing the opinions generally, but it is based theoretically on the direction of the judge themselves. But if you want to play this game, Trump, where we're like, oh, here's a picture of someone who's affiliated with a scandal and someone in power, I have a game we can play, because here's a photo of you and Epstein. Be like, what is he doing with Epstein? Like, we can play this game all you want. It is harassment. Trump has made so many mistakes and done so many shady things in this situation. He's like, there's an amazing documentary everybody needs to watch it's on Max, and it's called BS High, about like a lot of people who are con men do so in a way that's like below the radar. But there are some people like the guy in this documentary and Donald Trump who just find themselves so drawn to the spotlight that their BS that they would have otherwise gotten away with by just kind of being over in another sector of everyone's mind. Once Trump becomes president, everyone's like, well, you can't do that stuff. You can't blatantly do that stuff and expect us to let you get away with it, because at that point it makes it makes you seem strong and me seem weak, even though I have the law on my side. All the judge is doing is applying the law. And Trump himself made such a huge mistake by going forward with checking a box on or allegedly checking a box saying he didn't want a jury trial. So he put all the power in this judge's hands, and now he's just crapping on the judge the whole time. That's not a good strategy.
Alina Habba was trying to explain their lack of asking for that jury trial. And when Trump was complaining about it, I think he spoke for like 5-7 minutes before he went in one day. And then when he came out, he was still talking just in the courtroom area. Like, it's a shame I have to be here. And I'm not sure if he had to be there, but he decided to be there because this is what's politically expedient for him. It's all he's got left is to try and adjudicate this publicly so that it can taint enough people's minds that whatever it is that does happen, because he might be throwing in the towel here because it sounds like this evidence is piled up and it's pretty damning on him. Only thing left is after it happens, for then whatever judgment comes forward, for him to then say, you see how unfair it was? The entire time I've been fighting this, I've told you guys a litany of lies, and therefore you believe this alternate reality. So when real reality shows up, you can be mad about it. This is his entire basis for anything that he does. So this is just another opportunity to set that stage. If it comes with threatening Allison or the work that she's actually doing, so be it. He doesn't care. He goes after his friends this way. You think he's not going to go after people who are actually trying to do their jobs? This is how he operates. It's a disaster. One other part, though, because the way he does like to do this thing is they're also pushing that the election has already been stolen. Again, this is all about politics. He knows he's probably going to lose when it comes to the actual details of the case really fast, because the Trump campaign put out this whole statement saying that senior advisors Susie Wiles and Chris Civitica?
Civita, if it's Italian.
It's a lovely Italian name, I assume. And they say the RNC should immediately cancel this upcoming debate in Miami and end all future debates in order to refocus its manpower and money on preventing Democrats' efforts to steal the election, the one that isn't anywhere near right now. One where he's fighting with Republicans, not really fighting, but competing somewhat with Republicans in the primary just to get this point, just the point of the nomination. The only thing that's stopping him right now are these cases. That's why they're bringing it up. He's like, if we can just eliminate that part, I can focus strictly on saying that the Democrats are trying to steal the election. So can we get by all this?
Yeah, his
good for him.
Yeah, his whole argument is don't do the thing that hurts me. Instead, do the thing that helps me for reasons that don't really apply. Like, there's no reason that like these aren't the same elements at play that are going after you, and it's a fake problem. His whole job, he's like when the sumo wrestlers just kind of do this to get you a bunch of the 1,000-hand slap to kind of get you off balance. That's Trump's whole thing. He's like, just hit them on everything, everywhere, all at once until they just like maybe lose focus on the thing they're doing. It's not going to work. Everybody has this is literally the judge's job. The RNC is going to do what they can anyway without embarrassing themselves too much. Trump his job is to just kick up dust and try to push people off balance.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.